What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Elfuzzzo, back again with another hot sauce review and a comic book review. No special guest today, it's just me and comics. And today's book is The Shadow, Volume 1, Fire in Creation, written by Garth Ennis. The art was done by Aaron Campbell. It was put out by Dynamite. I know Dynamite's under a lot of scrutiny and fire right now, so I'm not going to touch on that. That's who put the book out. That's who owns the character. I'm in love with the character. That's all I'll say on that. Anyway, we are getting into Hot Ones, the classic hot sauce. This is actually their new version of this sauce. It is the Garlic Fresno edition. I guess the story behind this is they have another hot sauce called the Classic, and I guess it's just a regular Fresno sauce. I have yet to try it. Every time I went to order that, it was sold out. This one, though, apparently when they were making it, they added way too much garlic, and instead of it becoming a fuck-up, it actually became another very good sauce. So we are going to get into this, and we're going to rock it out, man. So let's go ahead, let's add it, and then we'll get going. And we'll talk about The Shadow, Volume 1, Fire and Creation. And we'll talk about a little bit of Shadow history for some people that don't know it all that much. Alrighty, got it added. Ooh. Smells very, very, very good. I'm excited now. Alrighty, so we have the nuggie covered, and here we go. Let's talk Shadow. Wow. That's an insanely good sauce. Oh my god. That is very, very good. A little bit on the spice to start. A little bit on my tongue. But delicious. But let's get into some Shadow history real quick before we talk about the Shadow. The Shadow was a hero created in 1931. He was created by a gentleman named Walter B. Gibson, who happened to be a writer and a magician, which, if you know who the Shadow is, totally cool that a magician had a hand in creating such a cool character that uses quite a bit of magic. His first print appearance was April of 1931, but from what I remember and understand from reading a little bit, I believe he was originally a character created for an old radio play series. It was like a bunch of detective stories, and the Shadow was actually the host. So that's where the famous tagline is. I'm going to go ahead and drop in a little taste of that real quick. But so he was created for radio, and then Walter Gibson started writing for the detective pulp magazines back in the 30s and stuff like that, and he created this just amazing character. My first introduction to the Shadow was actually the 1994 film, because I was born in 85. So that was the first time I ever really saw what the Shadow was, with the Alec Baldwin film. But so I fell in love with the character then, and got my hands on everything I could available to me at the time, listened to all the old radio plays and everything, and now we're going to talk current Shadow after I take another bite of this absolutely insanely delicious sauce. This is fantastic. Shadow Volume 1, Fire and Creation. Written by Garth Ennis, art's all done by Aaron Campbell. Phenomenal art in this book. It's fantastic. Garth Ennis is one of those top-notch writers. He's fantastic as well. But the way this story takes place, it starts you off in America, and you're at like boat docks. You don't really know the time yet or anything like that. You don't know like what era this is taking place in. But it's the Shadow, so you assume it's older. And he is looking for the Kono brothers. And he happens to find one. And he does what the Shadow does and takes care of stuff. But as the story unfolds, you find out that this is pre-World War II. The story takes place pre-World War II. And it's basically about the Shadow foiling the plan of the other Kono brother, from helping other countries be able to build, WMDs and stuff like that. Very well written. I mean, Garth Ennis, and everything that dude writes is really, really good. I mean, you got Preacher, you got The Boys. Yeah, he wrote The Boys too. Amongst other things, I love his demon stuff. He did a really, really good job with that for the time that he did that. I think that might actually be his first writing, full time for a bit writing gig was the demon. But anyhow, I don't want to give too much away. It was a very, very solid read. Absolutely fantastic read. I very much so enjoyed it. The other thing about the Shadow that I've always found really, really cool is he has two names, two aliases, if you will. Some people know him as Kent Allard, and some people know him as Lamont Cranston. And how that transpired is different between every writer. And I believe the original way that it was written was the Shadow is Kent Allard, but he met in person Lamont Cranston and basically forced him to give up his identity. So then Kent Allard became Lamont Cranston, and just kind of back and forth it as the Shadow, Kent Allard, and Lamont Cranston for a long time. I'm going to get into the ratings right now. Like I said, it's a little bit shorter video because there's no special guest. Me and a cat tree. And so as for the flavor of this sauce, holy shit, I give this a 9 out of 10. This is delicious. Classic hot sauce, garlic Fresno edition. If you like garlic, if you like hot sauce, if you like both, go and get it. 9 out of 10 on flavor. Heat scale, that's a 1 out of 10, and that's being generous. It's actually a 0. I got nothing heat-wise from it. It's all flavor for me, and it was very, very, very awesome flavor. And as for my book rating, The Shadow Volume 1, Fire and Creation from Dynamite Comics, I honestly give this an 8 out of 10. It was a phenomenal read. I believe Volume 1 collects, I think it's 6 to 8 issues, which is the first entire run of Dynamite's relaunch, I believe. And it was killer. It was very, very well written. The dialogue's fantastic. The action is fantastic. The art, Aaron Campbell knocked it out of the park. He did great art. There's a lot of really cool covers for this series that are in the back of the trade, obviously. Some really cool covers by Frank Avila, some really cool covers by Jay Lee. Very, very good. So as for the ratings, flavor for the classic is 9 out of 10. The heat, 0.5 to 1 out of 10 to be generous, because it's a delicious sauce and I want you to try it, but know that it's not going to hurt you at all. And as for the rating of the book, I give it an 8 out of 10. It might be a wee biased because The Shadow is definitely one of my top favorite superhero comic book pulp stories. I absolutely love The Shadow. I love everything he stands for and everything like that. So, thank you so much for watching, as always. I do have some other guests lined up. There will be more guests coming in the future. So thank you guys so much for letting me talk comics for a little while instead of not talking comics and just watching people burn alive. Thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of the day. Booyah!
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?